That gets us to our Sunday showdowns. We give you our starts, sits, bewares, and the whole rest of it for the weekend games. And we will start with that Cowboys Vikings.
Am I first?
I believe, yes. According to this, you are first.
I know there's a lot of buildup because people are wondering what I'm doing with Kirk Cousins. And I'm going to say, start him!
Woo!
Start Kirk Cousins. Yes, the nation can finally rest. I am giving my start designation to Kirk Cousins. I've thought about this an awful lot because thank you, that's fair. I've been starting Kirk Cousins all year. I deserve that. Here's the thing, the Cowboys, one of the best defenses in the NFL. They lead the NFL with 35 sacks this season. But what's interesting to note here, those totals on the board are correct. They've allowed a top 10 quarterback in 2 of the last 3 games. That's why I'm just going to take the ceiling with Kirk Cousins. I think his floor is pretty safe too, so I'm going to start him.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be pretty high scoring, which is why I'm saying start Dalton Schultz. And he has been everything that he was hyped up to be coming into the season, he has been when Dak Prescott plays. He's averaging over... You hyped him. He's averaging over 12 fantasy points per game with Dak. His lowest is 9.9. He just scored over 17 last week. There's 2 other healthy tight ends with that combination of floor and ceiling. You could forget all those down Cooper Rush games. Dak is back, and that is why you should get excited and start Schultz.
Well, you should also be excited and make CeeDee Lamb a must start. Look, you're starting him. I just want to be able to gush about how good CeeDee Lamb has been here in this next couple of moments. 8 straight games with at least 10 fantasy points, 32% target share. You see that on the screen, highest in the NFL. And just the ceiling is so much more elevated with Dak Prescott back at quarterback, and it's just more of a downfield offense. 13 air yards per target the last few weeks. It was under 10 when Cooper Rush made his 5 starts this season.
But everybody said he was better with him.
I know. I didn't believe that, though. Henry has a question. This one for you, Adam. Trade Dalvin Cook for Kenneth Walker and Tyler Lockett in the team PPR league.
I like this move. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm trying to figure out which running back I'd want the most. I think Kenneth Walker might actually straight up for Dalvin Cook be fair. If you get Lockett thrown in, count me in.
That's actually a big bonus to get Tyler Lockett in there. Chiefs-Chargers, the Sunday night game that we play here at SoFi Stadium. And, Rank, you got a sleeper wide receiver here.
Yeah, I'm going to say Justin Watson could potentially be a sleeper in this game because the Kansas City Chiefs have had a lot of success against the LA Chargers over the years. So when you're trying to figure out who to stream, if you're in bigger, deeper leagues too, by the way, don't bench some stud for him. You know what I'm saying? Don't bench CeeDee Lamb for Justin Watson because I'm sitting here talking about him. But if you're in dire need, go for a team that you can expect to score a lot of points this week.
I like a wide receiver on the Chiefs as well. And no surprise, it's Kadarius Toney. No Juju this week, no Mecole Hardman. MVS has been limited at practice all week. And it's not hyperbole to say that Kadarius Toney is the Chiefs' most explosive receiver. I would even argue he's their most explosive player on offense.
Travis Kelce said.
Yeah, I mean, he is that good when you get the ball in his hands. He led the Chiefs in yards per route ran last week and yak after the catch per catch last week. Mahomes has a history of success against the Chargers, and the Chiefs now get to show their new toy off on national TV. Happy Kadarius Toney week, everyone.
Well, let's
Why
just
say their new Tony instead of
like
Raquel Welch and Seinfeld.
It was just right there in front of you.
I get that.
Let's keep the Chiefs love going with Jerick McKinnon. And I know everybody's big on Isaiah Pacheco, and I think he can have a good game this week. But in close games, they're still leaning very heavily on McKinnon. He's led the Chiefs in running back snaps for the last 5 games. It's dominating the running back targets. He's got 33 this season. Pacheco has just 3. McKinnon very good in pass protection. That is important when you have a pass-heavy offense like the Chiefs do. It means he can be on the field for 3 downs if possible. Back to the socials here, and Tanya wants to know Vanilla Vic versus the Lions, which is the first I've ever heard of Daniel Jones being called that, or Justin Herbert against the Chiefs. I'm just stuck on this Vanilla Vic.
I've never seen that.
Apparently, Saquon Barkley dubbed him as that, and now it's just like Daniel Dimes is old news. He's Vanilla Vic now.
I love it.
I would go with Herbert here, though, because he's getting his playmakers back, we hope, and I just think they're going to have to throw to keep up with Mahomes and the Chiefs.
That is crazy.
That's crazy. I love that. But Justin Herbert is the answer here. Browns, Bills, and we sort of gave away what we're going to talk about here. The stadium there in Buffalo. I mean, you can't even tell us.
The no fun league. Why can't we play in that?
Apparently, the woke NFL won't let them play in the snow.
What are you talking? People need to stop that.
They'd have to burrow under to like.
There's Von Miller's car. How do you get to the stadium? What is this, the Iditarod?
I don't
We have
know.
A couple of Huskies.
I think the Bills are going to
taking
take
you
that
to the game.
Snowpiercer train to Detroit so they can play this week.
Snowpiercer.
Let's talk about the
Good
game
show.
itself, though. And Rank, what do you like about this one?
I like that they're indoors where it should be. It is. Listen, do you use an outhouse? No. Technology is advanced. Embrace it. Jacoby Brissett, as you see right there, he's had at least 16 fantasy points in each of the last 2 games. Should I start him over Kirk? No. I'm not going to get crazy. Buffalo's been very generous to opposing quarterbacks over the last couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, they've allowed the fifth most passing. Thanks. You see the graphic. I don't need to be here.
If you like Jacoby Brissett, I like his wide receiver 1 in Amari Cooper. I think you should be starting him this week. I was worried earlier in the week because of the weather, but now this is indoors at a neutral site. We could throw away the whole home road split. We've never seen Browns Amari Cooper in a neutral site. But the Bills' defense is not what many people think it is, at least not right now. They are super banged up, especially in the secondary. And in the last month, they've been in the top 10 in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. The upside is far too high to get away from Amari Cooper.
Well, if we think the Bills' secondary can be had, maybe we take a look at David Njoku. Now, this is the caveat of if he plays. He's listed as questionable, but he says he's good to go for this week. It's been a while since we've seen him, but he's had 5 or more targets in 6 of the 7 games he's played, 70 or more receiving yards in 4 games that he's played. Plus, now those indoor conditions, I think the Bills can score some points, forces the Browns to be in a pass-heavy game script. By the way, he's available at about 45% of NFL.com.
Is he?
He is.
That many?
Maybe go check your waiver wire. He might be out
give
there.
it a look. What is
look.
it going to hurt? Everybody loves to get so offended. Like, that guy's gone. Like,
Just check.
check. If he's gone, he's gone. Then you just move.
You've lost nothing at all at that point. Coming up on NFL Fantasy Live, the Eagles are no longer perfect, so does that mean it's time to beware? And Saquon Barkley isn't the only giant on the run. Find out who we're talking about coming up next.
DeAndre Swift, he has fewer than 20 snaps and 8 touches in 2 straight games. Last week, he had the same number of snaps and targets as Justin Jackson because they're now using 3 running backs in Detroit. Plus, the Giants allow the 7th fewest fantasy points to running backs. I just don't think we can trust DeAndre Swift until we see him get his normal workload. But don't you worry, Dynasty Twitter will still be out there hyping him up all throughout the season.
Absolutely, they're going to love him. You know what? Since we're on the Vanilla Vic train, why not stream him this week against the Lions? Yes, that Lions defense is bad. They also struggle with mobile quarterbacks. Justin Fields had nearly 150 rushing yards. Jalen Hurts had 90 rushing yards. And it's because the Lions play a lot of man coverage. So you have defensive backs turning their backs, which means open running lanes for the quarterback. Oh, by the way, Detroit also has the 24th ranked pass defense. So whether by leg or by arm, Daniel Jones feels like a really nice streaming option this week. This one from Dan for you, Florio. Skoranek, Nico Collins, or Darius Slayton in the flex? This one feels kind of easy. Actually.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Darius Slayton here, who I know we all like this week. He's been playing really good football as of late, but this is like, there's been multiple questions we've gotten about Ben Skoranek. Don't do that. He's a receiver who plays fullback at times.
I love Skoranek.
Maybe play him.
Crazy. Skoranek. Isn't it Skoranek? Don't you think? It's like too many fullbacks.
Nothing in that song was actually
when all
ironic.
you need
But anyway,
is a slot.
Eagles Colts.
That was good.
What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. Beware of the Eagles wide receivers. And what I really mean is beware of Devonta Smith. Obviously, you would never sit A.J. Brown, but unless he was injured, of course. But you know what? I think a lot of people overlook the fact that the Colts have allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to wide receivers. Mike, I know you do the start 'em and sit 'em column, so that's got to be second hat to you. But I was like, oh my gosh, the Colts have been shutting down wide receivers overall this season, although I know there's been some. They're like, what about? I know some guys have snuck through, but I'm just saying beware of the Eagles wide receivers. I'm not saying to sit them.
I'm with you, and I was surprised as well that they allowed the fewest in the league so far this year. But I like Paris Campbell on the other side. Look, I've been talking him up all week. He has at least 9 targets, a touchdown, and over 18 fantasy points in each of Matt Ryan's last 3 starts. That includes a 26% target share, and he leads the team in end zone targets. But I went back and I watched all of his targets from the last couple of games. He's basically used as an extension of the run game. So if Philly is getting pressure on Matt Ryan, which they probably will be, I think Matt Ryan will just quickly dump it off to Paris Campbell.
Well, I'm going to say you have to beware of Michael Pittman Jr. And look, I know last week was a good week for the Colts offense because they were playing the Raiders, but that was the Raiders. These are the Eagles. It's a different situation here. Philadelphia allowing the second fewest yards per pass attempt, the lowest completion percentage over expectation. So I don't expect Matt Ryan to have a good game. I think he's going to have a tough time getting the ball out to Pittman. Only 3 players have had more than 70 receiving yards in a game against Philly this season. Social question from Josh: Chris Olave or Devonta Smith? Well, you just heard Rank say to beware of the Eagles wide receivers. I don't necessarily love Olave with Andy Dalton at quarterback, but I think he's got a better outlook just because there are fewer people to compete for targets with him there. He is sort of Mr. Air Yard, so I think that sort of keeps him afloat against the Rams.
The Saints hate Olave. I appreciate their whole catalog.
All right,
so
there we go.
I'm a little verklempt.
Bears Falcons. I see you're being all hipstery about this one, Rank.
Yeah, well, this is for all of you. Oh, that guy's gone in my league. Well, I'm assuming that Treston Ebner is available in your league. Actually, in a dynasty league that I'm in, he's not because I'm starting him this week. But I also need to caution everybody because yesterday, the Thursday show, depending on when you're watching this, I was emphatic about adding Treston Ebner to your fantasy roster. You do not have to start him. That's fine. If you want to bring him on the bench as a trial balloon, that's fine. It's like when I'm trying to teach my daughter how to try new things. Just put him on your roster. And if it works out for you the following week when the matchup presents itself, play him then. But at least pick him up. At least have him.
Why are you making Treston Ebner sound like broccoli?
Yeah, I was thinking sushi. But
Okay.
Yeah, broccoli.
Sure.
I had an issue trying new things when I was a kid as well. But this week, I think you could try to get Marcus Mariota into your starting lineup. He has topped 17 fantasy points in every game this year where he rushes for at least 40 yards. And the Bears allow a ton of production on the ground. But they've also allowed a top 4 fantasy quarterback in 2 of the last 3 games. They've allowed the most rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks this year. And if you're still not sold, in the last 3 weeks, they're giving up nearly 40 points to opposing offenses. Stream Marcus Mariota this week.
Back to the socials here. This one for you, Rank. Kelly wants to know, do I start Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields? This is a question I've seen quite a bit this week.
Absolutely, because it was right around the Ravens bye week that Justin Fields started coming on. So I think that you see a lot of people with this. I'm personally going to start Justin Fields. I think because I think what's overlooked is that he's had at least 2 touchdown passes in each of the last 3 games. So I think he's getting that kind of volume. So I would feel very comfortable with that. Although I feel like Taylor Swift sometimes where I'm in or I'm out, I'm hot and I'm cold.
That's not it. So we're going to get more tweets. It's not even a Taylor Swift song.
That's
Panthers at Ravens. You're being wary of Mark Andrews here.
Well, I don't know what's going on with him.
That's fine.
I feel like it's questionable with his shoulder, although I've come to the conclusion that if he's available for the Baltimore Ravens, I'm likely to play him. I don't know what you've been doing. If you have Isaiah Likely and that has been your backup, then I would feel okay with that. But I think for the most part, there are like 4 tight ends you can trust. And Mark Andrews with a bad shoulder and knee is still one of the most reliable guys in all of fantasy. So I'm wary, but I'm starting him.
Partially because Mark Andrews is good, also because the tight end position is thin. Beware of DJ Moore. And it hurts my heart to say this because I was excited that he had come back into our lives recently, but that was with PJ Walker at quarterback. Walker is going to be out because he's dealing with a high ankle sprain. Things have not been quite as rosy with Baker Mayfield. And maybe it's just that Baker is just not good with smaller, kind of more timing route-based wide receivers. Sort of saw that problem with Odell Beckham Jr. Maybe you can still sort of rely on Terrace Marshall Jr., but I think this might be a heavy run game for the Carolina Panthers.
There's a common denominator with those problems.
Probably. Bengals Steelers. Rank looks like he has something to say.
No,
here.
it's fine.
Okay, we'll start with.
No, I don't think I'm in on this one.
All right, there you go.
I would say sit Deontay Johnson, and that would have been crazy to say earlier this season. But with Kenny Pickett, he's averaging just 8.5 fantasy points per game. He's topped double digits twice in games started by Pickett, but his high game is 11. So there's absolutely no ceiling there. The floor is very low. He has not been a top 35 fantasy wide receiver in each of his last 6 games, and he is the only player in the NFL with at least 80 targets and no touchdowns. I would get away from him against a tough Bengals secondary.
Things have been not great for Deontay Johnson. I would say beware of Joe Mixon, and you see that there. No touchdowns in 7 of 9 games against Pittsburgh. The Steelers are decent against running backs. Not going to say they're a great run defense, but they're not awful. And I just do think this is a week where you see Joe Burrow and his wide receivers doing a lot of the work. So maybe if there's a lead, we see Joe Mixon sort of work as the closer in this one. But I think for the first 3 quarters, it might be a bit of a struggle if you have him.
But he's the RB4 on the season, though.
Let's get back to our Sunday showdowns, though. We got the Rams and the Saints. And, well, Rank, you got to talk some more here.
Oh, that's fine. Chris Olave, beware. It's clear now that the Saints absolutely hate Chris Olave because they insist on Andy Dalton being their quarterback. But here's something. Since you guys don't like him anyways, the Saints could use a young quarterback, but the only problem is you don't have a first-round pick. So let's say you take Chris Olave, send him to the Chicago Bears for their first-round pick. Problem solved, everybody. Nailed it.
I like Chris Olave, who I don't like. In Chicago, he'd be fine there. Who I don't like is the Rams. Literally every single one of them.
Oh,
I would say
they're
beware.
nice people.
I'm sure they are. They're a nice family, but beware of them for fantasy. Stafford has been a top 12 fantasy quarterback once. Darrell Henderson has never topped 75 yards in a game this season, and he shares the backfield with Cam Akers and whoever is Sean McVay's third flavor of the week. Allen Robinson was the 4th name listed when asked how the Rams can replace Cooper Kupp, and Tyler Higbee has been the one reliable Ram this season, but the Saints have shut tight ends down all year. If you can get away from all of your Rams, I would.
The Ramily, not looking so great. Let's move on to the Raiders and the Broncos, and you're positive about somebody in Denver there.
Who, me?
Yeah,
I was just talking positive about Russell Wilson.
That's true.
So that would mean that Greg Dulcich should be a
Greggy
start.
D.
Great. No, I already told you that's not going to be a thing.
Better than Melgo.
No, it's not. The people love Melgo. Greggy D, not so much. It's okay. You do you. I will dispense of the Broncos nicknames. 11 plus fantasy points in 3 out of his last 4 games. The Raiders have been very generous to opposing tight ends this season, especially over the last couple of weeks too. So make sure that Dulcich is a guy, especially like with so many tight ends down. Zach Ertz is down. Dallas Goedert's down. Mark Andrews' situation is up in the air. Greg Dulcich is a great option.
Melgo still sounds like an off-brand of like hot chocolate mix. Russell Wilson. Rank talked about how good he's going to be. He's a streamer this week for you. The best game of the season came against the Raiders in week 4. I haven't seen this defense get any better. Second most fantasy points allowed per game to quarterbacks. They just gave up 22 points to Matt Ryan. He gave up a 39-yard run to Matt Ryan. If he can do that, I'm pretty sure Russ can break off a couple of decent runs as well.
You'd hope.
For sure.
You would hope. The Commanders and the Texans. Florio, what should we do here?
Yeah, this is going to be a high-stakes battle right here. I would say, though, beware of Dameon Pierce. Look, I know with the injuries at the running back position and the buys, you might not be able to get away from him, but Pierce hasn't scored a touchdown since week 5, and his fantasy points have dropped in every week since week 4. Plus, Washington allows the 4th fewest points per game to running backs this season and the fewest to the position over the last month. Again, you might not be able to get away from him, but if you have other options, consider going in the
What are the other options? Break it down for me.
I'm just
kidding.
I don't know.
I'm
Start
teasing.
Terry McLaurin. This is just kind of a reminder. He's been so much better with Taylor Heineke. With Carson Wentz as a starter, he's averaging just over 6 targets per game, about 4 catches per game, 11 fantasy points per game. Those numbers bump up to about 16 fantasy points per game with Taylor Heineke as the starter. Even though the matchup on paper isn't a great one, I just believe in this quarterback-receiver duo a whole lot more, so I feel confident there.
The King!
Hey, it's our pal Scott Engel.
Scott Engel.
Hey, Adam Rank, it was the Go-Go's. We got the beat. You guys are a lot of fun on NFL Network. We appreciate you, Scott.
I knew Scott's a huge Kiss fan as well, so I wanted to get I wanted to spread out the age range of people who would be enjoying this show.
Kiss, Back in Black, right?
Yep.
Yep,
That was their most
absolutely.
famous song.
Back in Black.